and welcome to another episode of Car Wash Magazine Live. I am your host, Matt DeWolf, Editor-in-Chief of Car Wash Magazine. Last week on this program, guys, we had a special edition of the program for you. If you haven't seen it, you got to check it out at carwashmagazine.com. It was our exclusive marketing expert edition on all things holiday marketing. So whether you're trying to figure out, hey, should I do that haunted holiday tunnel? Hey, should I have some sort of like community tie-in during the holidays to help kind of break through the noise? Or maybe you're just trying to figure out what a digital campaign looks like for you during the busy time of the season for consumers. Check it out. Lots of great tips in that episode for you. We're going to be doing those on a regular basis, tackling all things marketing. So I'm super excited for the next one of those coming up here pretty soon. This week on the program, we've got... Wait, who? Oh, okay. All right. Well, we've got Mark Curtis, everyone, actually. He's with Splash Car Washes. It's going to be a great show. We've known Mark for a long time, former ICA president, been in the industry for a while, so we're going to get a lot of great learnings from him. We'll come back to that in just a second because I want to make sure that everybody watching the program knows a few important dates. So, obviously, a big one, if you check your email, you saw the announcement earlier this week about the Car Wash Show 2021. That's going to be moved to November 15 through 17. Still in Las Vegas, November 15 through 17. That's going to be the next opportunity for us to get together in a large environment and do what car washers do and collaborate and connect and get all kinds of great ideas. In the interim, we are going to be doing some smaller things, so be on the lookout for that as we figure out great ways to do what we do, which is bring this industry together. So, mark that date. The other date that I want to make sure everybody is aware of is today, because I've been talking about careers for a while now, and the Career Center for ICA, today is the last day that you can post your listings for free. So if you're looking for talent, you need a new site manager, you need some help at your wash, post that job today at careers.carwash.org and take advantage of that free offer for you. If you're looking for the next big thing, if you're looking for a move and you want to do something different in the car wash industry, you can find those postings there. Go check it out. careers.carwash.org. All right, what else do we got for you on the dates format? So here is another program we're doing. Another way we've kind of adapted to kind of continue to bring offerings for you all. The Women Leadership Certificate Program, we're doing that with Notre Dame. The deadline for that to apply is October 15. That program is going to kick off November 1st. So apply, get yourself registered by October 15 so you can be in the program starting November 1st. Important stuff. Great opportunity for you as a female in this industry to come together with like-minded individuals and grow and develop and take your career to the next level. So check that out. What else is coming up, everybody? You know what? The industry pulse surveys are coming up. So you may remember these. We were doing a lot of them during the early months of COVID-19. We're continuing to do those, just not as a COVID-19 response, but just because we want to have really solid data around what's going on in the industry and what is the vibe and what are people experiencing so that we can adapt and we can help and we can get the information and education and learnings for everybody to help make better choices. So that survey is going to go out Friday. We're going to have it open for about a week. Make sure that if you do receive that survey, one person from your company does fill that out. Filling it out makes that data more important for us. Without data, there's no pulse survey. So submit those surveys. Make sure you do that. All right. One more thing for you here. ICA membership, super important for us. Just like unlimited members are super important for you. I want to make sure that everybody knows one thing. ICA memberships, we don't have a family plan. All right. We don't have a fleet discount. What we have is individual memberships. So we want you to leverage that individual membership to make sure you're getting things like all 4 issues of the magazine. And it's a great opportunity for you to be able to reward others in your company with that prestige that kind of comes along with, hey, you're a member of the International Car Wash Association. And that can be a really powerful thing for folks. So think about that as you think about ways to recognize your employees. Recognition is always great. We're always trying to hang on to those key people. All right. A couple more topics of interest for you all this week. So we've got The latest episode of Car Wash the Podcast did drop yesterday. That was a continuation of a conversation we had with Brian Cruz from Sergeant Cleans. Really cool conversation that you got to binge listen both episodes, because we go through the whole conversation around how Brian likes to take on tough sites and do really out of the box things in terms of how he renovates those and the different services that he brings. For example, he talks in there about taking one site, taking the quick lube bays and turning that into his pay stations. So pretty cool stuff. Great conversations. Make sure you check it out, carwashthepodcast.com, or anywhere you're listening to your podcast these days. Great for drive time or, mowing the yard. So one thing next for you guys. You've seen this before if you're super frequent watchers of this program, but if you haven't, this is a great story for you from John Roush.
John Roush. I'm CEO of Express Wash Concepts and Moo Express Car Wash Flying Ace and Clean in Cleveland. And I want to share a great car wash story. So about our third year in business, I get this frantic phone call from our site manager at our Upper Arlington location. And he says, hey, there's this naked guy trying to get in the office right now. Call the cops. So of course we didn't call the cops. We got on the cameras to see what the heck he was talking about. And we had a wonderful video run of this naked guy walking around our car wash and through the McDonald's parking lot next to us and scattering cars, and my site manager flipping his gasket out because he's got a naked guy trying to get into his office, and going in and hugging brushes. And finally one of our customers there in the lot had to go and tackle this guy down, and the cops came and take him away. And obviously he was high on something or other, but probably not a car wash story that too many people can tell. The naked guy at your car wash.
Okay, that was John Roush talking to us about the naked customer. Well, I guess probably wasn't a customer. Probably wasn't paying for that wash. So that's the kind of thing that sometimes happens in the car wash industry. If you guys have a great story to share, make sure you submit that at carwash.org/vidquest. Remember, if you answer this question for me, I am going to send you swag. I'm going to send you a swag pack, a swag bag, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to send it to you if we use it on the program. So make sure you share your stories with us. Interestingly enough, there's a lot of nakedness that happens at car washes, and I don't quite get it. But hey, high pressure isn't meant for everything. All right, so we've got a joke for you guys this week, right before we get into the rest of this program here. This week's joke requires a little bit of visual aid. So I'm gonna pop this up for you guys so you can see it. I've got a dog, a very large dog, 150-pound Great Dane named Ivy. And so let's show you Ivy. Okay, so there's Ivy. Ivy's, beautiful gray dog with black spots. Well, Ivy sometimes needs a bath, and so we took her to the dog wash the other day, and everything was great. Super good experience with it. There's only one problem. Now she's spotless. Oh, man. So there's that for you. Hey, you know what? You can't hate on it because you got to see a picture of a dog, and everybody loves dogs, so there you go. All right, if you've got a joke for me, send it to me, mdewolf@carwash.org. Otherwise, you keep dealing with my jokes. That's what you get, folks. Without further ado, let's check out this tour video of Splash Car Washes. All right, so that was a great tour of Mark's wash. Joining us on the program is Mark Curtis. Mark, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Matt. Good to be here.
Hey, so contrary to what I said earlier on in the program, we are really excited to have you. You've been in the industry for a long time. You've got a lot of really great insight and information to share with folks. So we're really excited about the story today. But for those who are not as fortunate as us at ICA and maybe don't know your background or your path, can you just share real quick kind of the 10,000 foot version of how you got into this industry?
Sure, Matt. Thank you. 40 years ago, we celebrate our 40th anniversary next year. I was a banker, commercial lending officer, and really just had an entrepreneurial bug. And so I'd look at the classified ads each weekend, saw one that had a local number, called it. It was a broker selling a car wash, supposedly doing 50,000 cars, which I found hard to believe. So he said, why don't you go down and count them? So I did. So, of course, I picked a sunny Saturday after snowfall, and I counted hundreds of cars, and of course multiplied them times 360 because that made sense to me because he'd be closed for the holidays, and came up with a number that was far in excess of the number that he'd given me. So I called my good friend Chris Fisher and tried to convince him that we should be in this business, and he reminded me that we didn't know anything about washing cars. And I swear these words came out of my mouth, Matt. I said, how hard could it be? Dirty car at the front, machine, soap, water, comes out the back, clean car. So I convinced him to get into the business with me. And it was not good because we didn't know anything about car washing. And in fact, I kid that we made mistakes 3 times just to make sure they were mistakes. So it was a very long time before we knew which end cars went in and which end the cars came out, and that they were clean.
Well, you made the fundamental mistake that everybody makes when they get in the industry, right? How hard can it be?
How hard could it be? So somehow we survived all that, and 40 years later, we're still in the business with a few more car washes than we had back then.
So you get in the industry. You start out, obviously you're not always a multi-site location. You start out with one wash, you're doing that. And then over the years you grow. What has enabled you to grow over those years, and maybe what's changed in the last few that's accelerated that for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. We started out with one location, really had that for 13 years until we developed a second tunnel at the first location, which was a full service hand wash on conveyor. And the market just loved it so much that we thought that we really needed to expand. So we did a year later at our second location, and a year after that, our third. And so it was really fits and starts where we would find a location and convert it as we could either get investors to invest with us, or we could borrow the money, or we generate enough income to do it ourselves. But it was a pretty slow growth pattern until just a few years back, we partnered with a private equity firm that provided the capital that allowed us to move faster in our growth plan.
And so talk a little bit about that. So you can move faster. I mean, obviously you have access to more capital. What have you kind of discovered over that time, or what are some of the things that having that access and having that private equity partner has kind of helped you do that maybe you wouldn't have done otherwise?
Yeah, a few things, Matt. I think that capital was certainly a big part of it, because before that we were either going to a bank, and that process was long and drawn out typically, and it was a one-off strategy. So we would get one, build one, convert one, and then get it up and running, get the cash flow going. So it might be a year or two before we could recharge the bank, if you will, and go back at it. Or we were taking out individual investors that would invest in one location or another. But as most people that have had that experience know, that you're educating that investor each time you do it, each new person that comes in, as to the vagaries of a weather-related business, a labor-intensive business in some cases, in our cases. So it was challenging and slow. Private equity providing us all the capital we needed to acquire almost at will, and having that both the equity capital and financing capital available to us has allowed us to look at sites that we really want to acquire and go after them, or sites that we want to develop.
Yeah, it's it's interesting the way that the industry is right now. Like there's lots of different ways that you can approach this, right? There's tons of different ways that you can approach private equity, but there's also different things that you might want out of those results in terms of like, am I still going to be operating the business? Do I need a lot of expertise and knowledge to come to me with this partnership? Can you just elaborate a little bit in terms of like that decision-making process of when you were kind of thinking about partnering with someone? What went into that, and how did you make kind of the final decision?
Well, Matt, that's an excellent question, and I think that anybody that's contemplating going into a partnership with private equity really needs to ask those questions of themselves. What do they want the post-closing transaction to look like and relationship to look like? I think it's important not just to get the money, but also to get expertise, involvement, decision making, as much as you want or don't want in the post-closing running of your business. And you want to make sure that you find a partner that complements you in what you're looking to do. Are you looking to have them heavily involved with management of your operation, or are you looking to have them be more laissez-faire? Our group has been great in not only providing capital, but giving us organizational and system advice and input so that we can really gear our business to be able to grow faster. So for us, they've been the perfect partner.
Yeah, that's great. If for those of you just tuning in, you might be joining the program a little bit late. We're talking with Mark Curtis from Splash Car Washes here. I am Matt DeWolf, editor-in-chief of Car Wash Magazine. Mark just gave us some really great advice around the decision-making process for if you're heading down the path of maybe wanting to sell your wash or thinking about the next steps of what you might want to do and how you might want to accelerate your growth or do some different things in your business. So Mark, super great counsel there. Let's shift gears just a little bit. There's some other things that you also get to do. Let's just check out real quick. I want to check out a Grace for Vets video. We're going to show that to everybody. Here we go. So that's Grace for Vets, just a quick snippet of that program. But can you back up a little bit and just tell us kind of what is it, where did it come from, why are we doing it?
Oh, Grace for Vets is a great organization. It was an organization started by Mike Mounts, who was an operator down in the Pennsylvania area, had 4 locations down there. He was also a veteran. So in 2003, Mike started Grace for Vets, which was simply an organization to pull car washes together to get them to give vets and active duty personnel a free car wash on Veterans Day, November 11th each year. And the first year in 2003, he started out with 3 washes, his 3 washes. And last year in 2019, it had grown to over 4,400 car wash locations participating, and we washed close to 350,000 cars for free.
Holy cow! That is growth, my friend.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
So who's kind of eligible? I mean, is this a United States only thing? Is it kind of anywhere? Who
Actually,
can do it?
there's 4 countries that are involved: Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the United States. I would say most of the participants are in the U.S. And any car wash is eligible. The only thing in signing up for Grace for Vets, you can sign up at graceforvets.org. What that does is it basically allows people that are interested in the event to find out what car washes are giving vets free car washes on November 11th. And so by signing up your wash and your addresses, they can go in, pick on the state, pick on the town, and see what washes are participating in Grace for Vets.
And then once I'm so okay, so if I want to get involved, I go to graceforvets.org and I get myself registered. And then do I have to do that every year, or is it like once I'm in, I'm in?
Once you're in, you're in.
Okay, that's for good or bad, right? It's like an unlimited club.
Yeah.
So once I'm in, I'm in. And then what kind of resources do I get from Grace for Vets to help me kind of promote this thing, or is it on my own? Like, how does that work?
Well, it's a little bit of both. There are press releases, sample press releases on graceforvets.org that you can use to contact your local paper. We do a broad-based press release as well as Facebook advertising on a broad base. But I recommend that people get involved locally by contacting their local VFWs, vets organizations, put it on their Facebook page or their website that they're participating. There's some operators that really take this to the nth degree. I'm thinking about Jeff Copeland, Matt and Jeff's out in California. They put up a huge, it must be 20 by 6 banner in front of their wash roadside that says, vets wash cars for free on November 11th. And it's amazing. They do a huge number of free vets cars that day, but everybody driving by the wash gets to see what they're doing for the vets. And I think that just increases their goodwill immensely.
Yeah, there's real power in that, and it goes back to what we talked about on the show last week, and we've talked about it before. But the tie to your community is super important in terms of what that does for your brand and just building your kind of reputation in the community. And it has to be authentic, and it has to be for the right reasons, right? You can't just do it because, well, it's the right thing to. It's the right thing to do, but I'm really hoping it's going to make me a lot of money. That can't be the decision point. It has to be earnest and honest, right?
Yeah, I think if you're local and you're doing something to help an organization, I think there's a symbiotic relationship. Obviously you're trying to put as many cars through that day if you're raising money, for instance, on a single day event. So it's in both parties' best interest to get the word out and spread the word as much as possible. So I think that, using the charity or the organizations, their email list, their website to promote the event just simply helps you. Does it help you? Make-A-Wish, who is a group that we supported with Wash USA, which is another organization we had started in the early 2000s, they indicated that 86% of the people that saw you supporting a charity that they liked would patronize your wash. It's a huge number. So we found it to be a very effective form of marketing and promoting our wash.
Well, I love that. I love that you've stayed with this program over the years and kind of kept it going. So thank you for doing that. More importantly, thank you for spending time talking to me and sharing your story with everybody watching at home. This has been Car Wash Magazine Live. Mark, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Matt. Great to be with you.
Hey, if you guys want to sign up, you got to go to graceforvets.org. If you want to watch more episodes of this program, that's at carwashmagazine.com. When you're out there, make sure you're always keeping it clean.